Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for making the time on a busy week to attend this seminar on investment and regulated funds. My name is Tanguy van der Werf, Director General of EFAMA, the European Fund and Asset Management Association, and we are very pleased to have co-organized this educational session together with our excellent panel. This session is part of a series of educational seminars organized by the EPFSF Academy, and I encourage you to visit the EPFSF website for information on past and future EPFSF events. This seminar aims to help you understand how investment works in practice, and we hope it will prove useful to all of you in the context of ongoing legislative discussions in the Econ Committee on the AFMD and UCITS directives.
We're all investors in some way or another. From an economic perspective, investments are important because they allow companies to raise capital, which in turn enables them to put this to work to produce jobs and growth. What's less understood is that all of us, EU citizens, participate in that process in different degrees. Investing isn't reserved just for high-income individuals or institutions. Investment is key when we look at how we secure financial security for ourselves and ensure that we have a sufficient income for a comfortable retirement. We're also increasingly looking to our investments to meet economic, social, and governance criteria. So investments are not only an economic imperative underpinning the Capital Markets Union, but it's also key to societal welfare and supporting the European social welfare model of the state and companies providing for old age retirement, supported by a third pillar of individual saving.
Here we have, of course, a number of conditions and requirements when it comes to delegation. I would say the first thing that is really important is the process of due diligence, which is performed by the management company, basically to ensure that the delegate or the third party has everything that is needed to perform certain task and function that is delegated. That is around resources, risk management, staff that is qualified and able to do so. And once that due diligence is done, then there is a contractual written agreement on the delegation arrangement between the management company and the delegate. What is then later done by the management company itself is the justification of why this delegation needs to happen and what is the rationale behind delegating certain functions to that specific delegate.
As you may have seen, liquidity has been unfortunately put back recently by recent events on the agenda of investment funds and financial markets overall. So, as you know, liquidity is really essential to the trust of market participants in a good functioning of infrastructure and financial markets. That's actually a sign of a well-functioning market. So what we will see here in these four slides, I will try to walk you through on what is liquidity first, then where does it come from, how is it regulated, and how is it managed by investment fund managers. And so we'll have a quite focus on equity management tools, as it is also quite high on today's recent agenda.
The next topic, I think, is a bit different from the others in the sense that it really talks about a specific category of funds, and mostly alternative funds here in this case. So private debt funds, and specifically private debt funds with a loan origination strategy. Before we really dive into that, I wanted to give you a kind of overall picture and introduction on what private debt funds are.
Reporting to regulators. So indeed, there are two different sets of rules in this area. So the first one is a supervisory reporting, which has been introduced under the AIFM directive. It was introduced because in case of alternative funds, as mentioned in the previous presentations, there are no specific rules on investment strategies and assets in which the alternative fund can invest in. So this is contrary to what we have in the UCITS directive, where there are very strict rules on several aspects and as eligible assets, diversification, exposure limits, use of leverage. So as there are no rules in the AIFM directive, the supervisory reporting has been introduced with the objective to effectively monitor and prevent systemic risk and market disruption that can be caused by these funds.